I'm Barry Johnson. This is Studio Talk. So today I'm going to talk about adding Bluetooth to your recording interface. There's a few reasons right off the top of my head why I did it here in my particular studio. One of those, if I have somebody coming over and they've got something on their phone and they want me to listen to it, they can just connect to the Bluetooth receiver, which is automatically connected to my interface, and then I can hear whatever they're doing or whatever they want to show me or play for me, as an example, through my studio monitors. Okay. And so you could also have somebody, if you're in actually a professional studio, you've got a tracking room. You could have somebody in the tracking room that says, "Hey, wait a minute, I'm looking for something like this. Let me play this for you real quick." They could play that as an example, and that's another good reason why you might want to consider adding that. Um, Additionally, as an example, that monitor back there has it has its own application built in where it can stream Netflix and Hulu and YouTube and YouTube TV and any kind of streaming service out there. And I like being able to do that if I want to hang out in my studio and kick back, but still have the full sound of my recording monitors as well as my subwoofer in here and be able to get all of that together. Now, for me, the most important part, having experience in the past with the Bluetooth receiver in an older car that I had, a while back, that did not have a Bluetooth receiver built into the car stereo. So I simply bought a $25 Bluetooth receiver from Amazon that had a 1/8 inch mini connection on it. And so I would connect that to the 1/8 inch mini auxiliary port built into the car, and I could stream from my phone, and that worked great. However, those things, I found I had to replace them quite frequently because they're just not built very solidly. And so I think that's an important thing. I also added one to my son's TV in his room that didn't have the ability to Bluetooth to a sound bar speaker that we had. And so I added a Bluetooth transmitter in that situation that would transmit the Toslink connection on the back of the TV into the Toslink connection on the Bluetooth transmitter, and it would transmit that to the Bluetooth soundbar system. Okay, so it can go both ways, a transmitter or a receiver, but you typically have to buy one or the other or both depending on what your needs are. In this situation, it's a Bluetooth receiver. Now, again, those connectivities and those boxes are not designed to take any kind of use, any type of connecting and unconnecting, whereas the one I got today, one that I ended up settling on, it's built like a tank. It's in a metal chassis. It also has mounting hose on the back of it, so if you wanted to mount it to the back of a desk or under a desk somewhere just to get it out of the way, if you didn't want to look at it, because it has a little extension that's a Bluetooth, the kind of the IR remote, for lack of better terms, that's just in a small one that you can just sit on top of the desk in a way where you don't even notice it. And so, but another important thing to me is that it had professional grade connectivity to it, either a combination of XLR and or 1/4 inch balance. Now, the one I particularly bought has both. You can go XLR or 1/4 inch balance, which is quite handy, depending on what type of connections your audio interface has. I've got mine set up to go into channels 1 and 2 of my interface. Anytime I want to stream to that, in my particular studio, everything's wired through a patch bay. So in the event, for whatever reason, I needed to use those two inputs for something other than that, I could simply patch them into that input, no problem. And so it's really just it's not a necessity, but if you ever ask yourself, man, I wish I had that, that would be great. I don't use a monitor controller. Some monitor controllers have built-in Bluetooth receivers built into them, but I don't use a monitor controller in this studio because I use RME interfaces. Recently did a video on RME. You should go check that out if you're considering buying one. But within Total Mix, as well as the USB remote that you can add on for a small marginal amount of money to the interface, I can set up, various inputs and everything and be able to do that without having to have an external separate monitor controller. And so that's really handy for me. And so But let's talk about the one that I particularly bought. I'm going to pull up my phone here real quick. Just to remember the model numbers. I'm over here in Sweetwater. There should be a picture of that up on the screen right now. But I have the Denon DN200BR stereo Bluetooth receiver, which I paid $130 for, and that's been working flawless for me. If you happen to need a rack mount version, they have the 300BR. That you can rack mount if you need to for an additional $70. They're both basically, as far as I'm concerned, are going to work the same, but it just depends on what your needs may be. If you happen to go in various locations and things like that, and you want to be able to do that, let's say you play live and things like that, and you want to be able to stream to your sound system, a rack mount version is probably better suited for that. And then down there below, they've got a CD player with Bluetooth built in, although today I can't imagine why in the world you'd need a CD player. But hey, if you need one in your studio, then by all means, that's an option for you. I haven't touched a CD in a very long time, but that's just me. I could be unique in that aspect. But anyway, that's an easy way to do it. Relatively, I think affordable for just about anybody out there. $130 to be able to do that, but it is a luxury. I concede that. But if you're wanting to do it, that's a way to do it and be able to do it through a device that's really built solidly and works flawlessly so far. I've yet to have a single issue with it. It has long range for connectivity. Like I said, you could have somebody in the live room and do that. It just works fantastic. So if you're considering, or that's an option you want to do, that's a consideration for you. So if you like the things I talk about in this channel, do me a favor, hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell so you know I got a new video out. At the very least, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. But until next time, I hope you have a great Bluetooth day. All right? Bye-bye.